I'm joined today by Invicta Fighting Championship President Shannon Knapp. Shannon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. Now, Invicta FC, as everyone knows, is the premier all-women's mixed martial arts organisation inside the United States. And with the emerging talent that's coming out of all the other countries at the moment, what I'd really like to know is how do you guys scout for talent?
We're pretty fortunate in the fact that, of course, we have a matchmaker and she stays on top of looking, at all the up and coming talent as well as, athletes that are competing, actively competing. But we're fortunate in the aspect that, a lot of female athletes want to compete under our banner. So a lot of the athletes that we do sign, actually their management or the athlete reaches out to us. I always say if you want to be part of Invicta, make some noise. If you make enough noise, we're going to see it, and to me that always shows that that person is not only very committed to their career inside the cage, but they're committed, dedicated to going after those opportunities and things like that. And I tend to really like athletes like that. I like the go-getters.
Now, everyone knows about the UFC and how they're expanding worldwide. They've got shows in Europe, Asia, Australia. Does Invicta UFC have similar plans to expand outside the US? And the big question, can we expect to see you guys in the UK anytime soon?
I'd love to. The great thing is we have fans all over the world, as well as, we have many athletes signed all over the world. So, yeah, love to. I don't know that that's definitely going to happen in 2015, because we're continuing to, and build that momentum. But could it possibly? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's in our long-term plans, as we continue to build and grow. So yeah, I mean, sometime, somewhere, we will make it there.
That's good news. I'll be bugging you next year going, are you coming over to the UK? Now, currently the Invicta FC, your 135-pound bantamweight title is vacant as Lauren Murphy is just on her way to the UFC. Now, with the news that's come to light that Chris Cyborg's trying to make that drop to bantamweight now, can we see a title fight in the future, or do you have different plans for that division?
Yeah, you will see a title fight. We definitely have Tanya Evinger that is definitely, first seated in that spot to, pursue the title, as well as, we've made a lot of new signings, and, definitely we're kind of bolstering those rosters and things like that. I definitely think this year you are going to see us crown a new champion in that division.
Fantastic to hear. Now, several years ago, when the UFC began a partnership with WEC, much like the partnership you have now, they eventually merged their roster. Now, as Invicta, you have many divisions that the UFC don't currently have. Is that something that we can see happen in the future? As you have that partnership where you're showing the fights on Fight Pass, or do you want to remain a separate entity?
I'll just identify to you what the differences were. When the UFC and WEC merged, they actually owned the company. They had purchased it. Invicta, the UFC doesn't own anything in Invicta. I own Invicta. They have no ownership whatsoever. So those are two different scenarios. So looking for us to merge with them, would not happen. I like things the way they are, I like what we have is called a broadcast distribution deal. So what they're doing is not only, are we airing on Fight Pass, but they're actively out there working to get us on other, platforms as well. So, ours is a little different than that was, but, it's a great partnership. They've been incredibly good partners, as far as the things that, they've contributed and, how much that they've done, and they far surpassed any of my expectations. So I am really pleased with where we're at right now.
Well, I think it's been fantastic promotion for Invicta, especially some people who, may not have been as familiar with women's MMA, and I think it has shone a fantastic light on Invicta, and we're seeing some great fighters as well, especially. Everyone's very excited about Chris Cyborg right now. She's making a huge splash in women's MMA, which is fantastic to hear. Um, Well, just two more questions before you go, because I know you're very busy. For the rest of the year, so we're a quarter of the way into the year now, what can we see from Invicta for the rest of this year?
Well, we're definitely going to do a show in July, July 10th in Vegas with,
Fantastic.
that's UFC Fight, International Fight Week Expo. So we will be in Vegas. That's going to be an amazing card, stacked top to bottom, two championship fights, as well as some really highly anticipated matchups. So, we will finalize the year out. I think we're going to go October 17th, December 11th, and one other show in between there somewhere. So, we've got a full year kind of mapped out, so to speak. There's always things that change when it comes to venues and,
Yeah.
athletes and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we're going to finish this year very strong, and we're pretty excited. Especially, we're excited about doing another event, in conjunction, connected the day before a UFC event. Was
That's
a
awesome.
really
Yeah.
amazing experience, not only for us, as a company, but for the athletes. They were super excited, and the fans, most of all, thought it was, I call it the bang for your buck, so to speak, because you fly into town, you can get to watch two promotions that you're fans of. So that's kind of a very cool thing.
It's fantastic. That sounds like that's going to be a huge weekend for you, for UFC and Invicta fans. So that's so exciting. Well, I have one last question for you, which isn't MMA related, but
Uh,
I had to ask you.
okay.
Now, so I'm going to put you on the spot with this. We've got obviously a huge boxing match coming up that everybody's going on about. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Who have you got? We've been asking everybody.
I'm sorry, it kind of stalled out. So,
Oh, it's still out.
yeah, I'm sorry about
Oh, that's
that.
okay.
So, yeah.
What I said was, obviously there's been a lot of heat on boxing as well at the moment. Who have you got? Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao?
Wow.
We've
Well, that
been
has put me on
asking
the spot.
everybody.
You know, I hadn't given it much thought yet. Oh, and I always feel bad if I say one and not the other. I'm the same way in my own company. Oh, yeah. I don't know, honestly. I mean, Floyd, maybe. But I like
Scared
Manny
to jinx
Pacquiao. I mean, I really,
it.
so it's like, and I always feel like if I make a prediction or a sports, and it's like putting it out there, plant my seed kind of thing. Um, I wish this fight would have happened years ago when they were both kind of in their prime, so to
I
speak.
know.
Um, I mean, I'll say it like this. I think Floyd, but my heart could be with Manny.
Manny.
So,
So maybe, maybe
yeah,
both.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of thing. How I kind of see it going down.
Well, I thought I'd
So,
catch you out on the last question, Shannon.
yeah, that curveball.
That one got
Yeah, I
you.
wasn't ready for that one.
Didn't tell you about that
But
one.
and I think that you're so excited of the anticipation for this fight.
Yeah.
That you don't even think about who you think's going to win. You're just like, wow, waited a long time for this. This is really cool. So really, I hadn't even thought about that part yet. So, but I mean, just from right now at this moment, and I haven't got to watch some of the pre-fight hype up, into the fight. Like, I know they do a lot of those 24/7s and things like that. So I haven't really got to watch one of those lately,
Yeah.
to kind of feel where they're at, just kind of gauge it and stuff like that. And I'm one of those people that likes to kind of get an inside look at the athlete to,
Yeah.
make a prediction. But looking at it on paper and stuff like that, I would probably give it to Floyd.
I think,
So.
see, I have to agree with you on that one. I think it's Floyd.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, Pacquiao, he's done some amazing things. It's so hard,
True.
when people have made such huge contributions to a sport to count either one out. That's hard. So,
No, well, we don't obviously normally mention boxing when it comes to MMA, but it's such a big fight. We were like, right, we need to know what people are thinking for it, but yeah,
yeah,
one of
and it's
those.
exciting. I mean, that's such an exciting. It's so exciting not only for the fans but for boxing itself. Love to see a little more life breathe. Being shown in the boxing that side of the sport. So.
but it won't be as big as Invicta or UFC this year. Definitely know we've got world title fights, bantamweight title fights.
Well, thank you.
We'll
That's
bring it
flattering
back to
to
the
say.
MMA.
We're not selling out as quick as they are for this event. So, but that's really cool. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that support.
Oh no, it's no problem at all. It's well, it was great to talk to you, and thank you so much for taking some time out. And I won't throw you any more curveball questions now, I promise. But yeah,
No problem.
thank you so much, and we look forward to whatever Invicta FC has in store for us next.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. And I'm going to say happy birthday to you. I know it's a little early.
Thank
It's
you.
next Tuesday, but I wish you lots of blessings and happiness. And have an amazing day.
So much. Thank you so much. Have a great day, Shannon.
You too, and thanks again.
Thank you.